Peter Pan had come to the darling nursery to retrieve his shadow, which he had left behind during a previous visit. As he searched, he accidentally woke Wendy. To her amazement, Peter invited her and her brothers, John and Michael, to join him in Neverland, where they would never have to grow up. With a sprinkle of Tinker Bell's magical fairy dust, the children were soon flying high above London, soaring past the clouds toward the second star to the right and straight on till morning. Before long, they arrived in Neverland, a magical land full of wonders, mystical forests, shimmering lagoons, and endless adventures. Peter introduced them to the Lost Boys, a group of kids who never grew up, and together they spent their days exploring the island, laughing and having fun. But Neverland wasn't without danger. The dreaded pirate, Captain Hook, was always nearby, sailing the seas in search of Peter Pan. Hook, with his sharp hook hand, wanted revenge on Peter for all his tricks, his greatest fear. The sound of a ticking clock, because a giant crocodile who had swallowed a clock was always on Hook's tail, waiting for another bite. Despite the threat of Hook, Peter and the children had the adventure of a lifetime, discovering that while Neverland was magical, home would always be waiting for them too. Despite the danger, Peter Pan always managed to outsmart Hook, leading the children on thrilling adventures, from rescuing captured friends to exploring Mermaid Lagoon. Wendy loved telling stories to the Lost Boys, and Peter, who was brave and playful, always looked after them all. But as time passed, Wendy and her brothers began to miss their home. Though Neverland was magical, they knew that growing up wasn't so bad after all. One day, Wendy decided it was time to return to London. Peter was sad but understood, though he promised never to grow up and always remain the same playful boy they had met. Before they could leave, Captain Hook captured Wendy, John, Michael, and the Lost Boys, planning to make them walk the plank on his pirate ship. But Peter, with the help of Tinker Bell, swooped in to save the day. After a daring battle, Peter defeated Captain Hook, who was chased away by the ticking crocodile. The pirates were no more, and Neverland was safe again. Peter Pan then flew Wendy, John, and Michael back to their home in London. As they landed gently in their nursery, Peter smiled and said goodbye. Wendy knew she would never forget their time in Neverland, but she also knew that someday they would grow up. But Peter Pan, he flew back to Neverland with Tinker Bell, forever young, and forever the boy who could fly. And so, as the children snuggled into their beds, they drifted off to sleep, dreaming of adventures with Peter Pan, knowing that in their hearts they could always return to Neverland whenever they wished. The end. Sleep tight and dream of magical places where adventures never end.